We know that everyone have different personality. We know that each individual have their own way of thinking, their own way of feeling, and this is pretty normal. However, there is a way to categorize people. There is a way we can understand most likely how we deal with things, how we deal with different situations, and how we do it on a day-to-day basis. And so this is understanding or mastering, how I prefer to say, or personality types. And we want to learn this in order to influence people. So every different personality has their strengths and every single personality has their weaknesses. And here we are going to learn most of them and try to understand, okay, what is our own personality and how we can use this, or a natural way of actually building things to influence people, to have a better connection, to have a good network. And this is pretty important to understand because sometimes we have like an A personality type, but our mind or the environment we are in trying to make us a B personality type. And this has serious consequences because we can feel miserable, we can feel not only sad but lonely because no one is actually understanding us. So these mental and sentimental problems can have a big impact on people, and I say this by experience because I have a pretty arrogant personality. I am naturally arrogant. However, I was in an environment that I was basically made to be shy. I was like I was taught to be shy. I was taught to be quiet, and this is not how I am. This is not how I normally am. So people need to understand their own personality type in order to influence people and have a better life. So we are going to learn how to make a good use of them. So the first thing we need to understand is the concept of MBTI. This is a concept created by Myers-Briggs, and it is used to categorize and label different personality traits. On the total, there are basically 16 personalities, and all of them are made by 4 different traits. That's why it is personality traits. And we're going to take a look of each trait. There are actually 8, but every people have 4 of them. And then we are going to understand how we have 16 personalities and how we can understand our own. So the first thing we have is extroversion versus introversion. And this is pretty simple. To understand the difference, we just need to think how we charge our battery. Because extroverts, when they are tired or when they are in a bad mood, they need to recharge by being with people. So they hang out in bars, they go to parties, they call their friends, and they have a good time. Introverts, on the other hand, they want time alone by themselves. They like to chill, maybe they like to sleep, maybe they like to draw, maybe they like to play. This is a music note, yeah. Maybe they like to play, maybe they like to watch Netflix or something. So why we need to understand this in order to influence people, you might ask? And the answer is we cannot influence people, we cannot be in a decent environment, we cannot be our 100% selves when we are not charged, when we are tired, when our mind is wandering around and we can't focus. That's why we need to understand, okay, how do we charge our battery? And when we think to ourselves, okay, I charge my battery by being alone and, I don't know, reading books. So when we are tired, we are going to read books and we'll feel recharged. Or maybe we like to go to a sleepover, so we call some friends and we have a sleepover, and maybe we, I don't know, watch a movie together, maybe we go to the park. Anyway, how we charge battery. Now we have sensing versus intuition, and it is basically how we perceive information. So sensitive people will prefer facts. They like to analyze data, they like to analyze past experiences, and this kind of things. Intuitioners, on the other hand, they like to wonder about possibilities, this famous what if. Or they just go with the flow. So they just, oh yeah. So these are the facts for the sensitive and intuition. Okay, what if this information is not true, or how could this happen? So they think of those different scenarios when they are presented with information. So let's say, for example, that I say, okay, 30% of, I don't know, billionaires are from a, I don't know, center family when you're talking about politics. So a sensitive person, what they will, okay, they have this fact, so they're going to look around, they're going to search for data, they're going to learn for likes and experiences and say, okay, this is correct or this is wrong. Intuitioners, on the other hand, they will say, oh, is this true? What if it is not true? What if there is like a whole new world that we just didn't understood yet? So they have their intuition, and people sensitive have data. Then you again have thinking and feeling, and it is basically how we make decisions. So thinkers, they like to basically calculate the possibilities, They take some time, maybe they meditate, maybe they seek for feedback, maybe they ask people. And feelings, on the other hand, they just feel like, yeah, this is a decision I should make. So they just are presented in a death, let's say we are in a zombie apocalypse, and there is the decision of, okay, we are alone, we can either join this group right here because they have guns, they have weapons, they have food, but I have to follow the rules, or we stay by ourselves. So people from feeling, they will look at them, they will analyze and say, I don't feel like. And that's it. And they won't actually do something. They will just start being by themselves. Now, thinkers, they will calculate, okay, maybe I also don't feel like joining them, but they have weapons. I don't know if I'm gonna be demonetized or something. I'm not even monetized. I don't know if they have weapons, maybe they have food, maybe they have shelter. So probably, even though my intuition is not liking it, I should be with them. So they think on the possibilities and they think of the best scenarios possible. And the last thing, we have how people actually approach work. So judges, they will make a schedule, they will have a to-do list, they will try to maybe find some templates, maybe they will follow a protocol, or maybe they will find like a blueprint somewhere, because they like this organized spaces. Now perceivers, on the other hand, they just like, okay, this is the flow I work. So the way they work is kind of confusing, because they do like, they turn around and they go back and they have a straight line of thinking, and they go back and they stop doing work after all, and they suddenly start working a lot. So they don't have like an organized schedule. They just do when their mind or their feelings say they should do. And besides that, there are 4 big personality traits. They're the four biggest, besides those eight we just saw. And that is openness to experience. This is pretty normal. I think most people know. Like, usually, if a friend of yours call you, oh yeah, let's go to this new place you've never been before. If you say yes easily, you are open to new experiences. If you instantly want to say no, then you are not open to experiences. Consciousness is just the level of how we organize ourselves. So basically, okay, we plan and we organize, or we just go to the feeling, and maybe our workspace is all messy, but it is like, it's my organized messiness, like organized messiness. Agreeableness, it is how people agree with different situations, like the level they agree. Usually men, they are less agreeable than women, because we have testosterone and we like to disagree and we are angry and sometimes we are violent and stuff. And then neuroticism, it is the dimension of our emotional stability. So if we are someone that can be, I don't know, like stoic, or we can actually control our emotions, we have a good level of neuroticism. If we can't, if we are that person that is very explosive and sometimes we can't actually hold our feelings, then we are less neurotic. And so, how we can understand and how we can actually calculate our strengths and weaknesses after we know all of those. So, the first thing we need to study and understand people that have the same personality types as us. And this is why we do the MBTI test. I'm going to link it in the description somewhere for you to do it. And basically, you do the test, it takes like, I don't know, 15 to 25 minutes. And then you'll have your personality. For example, mine is INTJ, and then there's like a T or AA on the last. I don't actually remember. And then there will be like a big text, like a whole lot of chunk text for us to understand better our personalities and how we deal with situations and how we actually do stuff. And then there will be some little charts with examples of people that have the same personality as us. So maybe, I don't know, let's say you have the same personality as Elon Musk, maybe we have the same personality as Steve Jobs, or I don't know, Donald Trump or something. Like Donald Trump. They have some historical and important figures that they use as a reference. And then after we study a little bit, we do the MBTI test, and we understand, okay, this is my personality. There is also like a strength and weaknesses panel right there, so we can also go there. Let me just put it on. Yep, okay. And then we self-reflect with us, so we take some time to think, okay, so if I know my strengths, if I know my weaknesses, if I know my MBTI, if we reflect and understand, okay, am I open to experiences? Am I conscious? Am I very agreeable? Am I neurotic? So I have those 4 traits there. Then we can reflect and say, okay, am I actually acting? Am I being myself given the fact that my personality is X? Am I acting like a Y? Or am I acting like an actual X? Because when we are having the same behaviors as our own personality types, life is much easier and life gets much better, because we are not swimming on the other direction of the river. We are not actually trying to be someone we are not. And yes, it is possible to change our personalities. I deeply believe that. However, it takes time, and we can only change the way we are. We can only change our personality after we actually understand our own personality. So first we study all of this, and we can ask feedback from others. We can seek for people and ask them, okay, do you think I am like this? What do you think are my strengths? What do you think are my weaknesses? Because even though we have those 16 personality traits, everyone has like different level. Maybe we have a very different level here, maybe someone here, maybe someone here, maybe someone is very little here, and there's a weirdo like this. So we seek feedback from others, and we use this to influence people. So for example, on my personality, I am what is called a commander, and this is not me bragging, like this is not either positive, this is neither negative, it's just a fact. So my personality, for example, I like to lead people. I like to be a leader, I like to be perceived as a leader. I like when people look up to me and when they ask me what to do. But on the other hand, I am very sensitive when people criticize my work. When for example, when I try hard to do something really good and someone look to me and say, oh yeah, you could improve on the small things, I am so sensitive to that, and this is a problem. And again, this is a weakness that I need to understand and then make it a strength. So we all need to understand our own personality types, and then we will actually be able to use this to influence people. Because maybe we are a sensitive person, but we are warm. We have a warm personality, so we can influence people by being warm. I can influence people by motivate them. I can actually pressure people to make them do work. But this is tough because I also need to understand the other 15 personality types in order for me to actually get along with most of them, and then actually having a good relationship with most people. But basically, that's it. If you also want to learn more about it, you can check the first link in the description, because there I will actually go on a call to you and I will monthly help you on understanding your personality type, on helping you on developing your own unique personality from like extracting from those 16 personality traits. Anyway, just check the first link in the description if you are interested on me helping you personally. And yeah, like the video, subscribe, comment something. Goodbye.